I am back for another round and segment of videos that I hope goes on for a very long time as opposed to just a couple of months. So this is just a quick summary and update as to what is going to happen with this channel and the little changes and tweaks that I've made. They're not really major, I feel, but I feel like they are worth bringing up and worth emphasizing. And for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Michelle, and I like to review books, movies. I love talking about music, random topics. So this channel is dedicated to all that. And basically I just do more of a vlog style where I just sit in front of the camera and just talk. I will try to incorporate maybe a little bit more elements within my videos. Not necessarily maybe editing wise or content wise, but I will try to add in a couple of things that are kind of unexpected, and I kind of want people to sort of be surprised by those little unexpected things. So I will try to add in some of those elements, and you'll kind of see them come up once I start making videos again, which will be next week. So this coming Monday, May 19th, is when I'll be starting making videos again. And I will make a video continuously every single day. And the format as to how these videos will be structured goes a little like this. I will have, again, my Classic Movie Monday, where I will talk about a classic film that I feel like has gained a lot of recognition and that a lot of people know about, and I want to kind of explore as to why that is, and maybe give a brief summary as to the film and what it's trying to represent. And I'm not going to try to really enforce my opinion on the film, because I feel like classic films, although they can be opinionated, I feel like regardless of whether or not I enjoy the film, I think it's more the impact that the film has left on that's more important to talk about necessarily than my opinion of the film. So I will try to focus more on that aspect. Music Talk Tuesdays will be the same, and basically what I do with this videos is I talk about a certain topic of music. In particular, if the music is focused on either genre or on a certain topic, like within the lyrics. Usually I do lyrics because I feel like those are a little bit more interesting to talk about than genre, because genre is just kind of basic, and I think a lot of people, when they know music, they kind of know what genre they gravitate towards. But I will try to talk about more about genre and maybe the cultural impacts of music, because I like talking about some of today's music, but also I like talking about the music that's come in the past. It could be all the way back to the 50s or 40s, but I will try to see if I can open some more avenues with this and try to open up the conversation a little bit more as to the different kinds of topics that I'll address when it comes to music. So look forward to that. And then on Wednesdays, I'll be reviewing a book. First, I'm going to be starting with The Pillars of the Earth, which I just got done finishing. It was a Bible, and I don't mean like it was long, tedious, and boring like the Bible, but it was literally as thick as a Bible. So it took me pretty much the entire half of the semester to get through, so it'll be interesting to talk about. And I will also try to review the books that some people have recommended me to review, and I'll also talk about ones that I am going to try to obtain from the library. And it's going to just depend on what book I can get a hold of. But if anybody wants me to review a particular book, feel free to let me know, and I'll be sure to get on that. Now Thursday is going to be the same too. With one Thursday I'll talk about what I would have done, and this is basically where I discuss a film that I don't feel has been praised all that much by critics as well as moviegoers alike. So I kind of want to talk about what I would have done instead of what the filmmakers decided to do with the film. And I've done this for a lot of famous films. I talked about the Pirates films in one previous video, the sequels. I talked about the issues with Transformers, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the Star Wars prequels, all that stuff. So I've gone through a lot of films, but I feel like there's more films to explore. And I think there definitely is a lot of potential with this kind of a segment, because I like the idea of taking something that may not be good and saying, okay, what would I would have done? And I try to look at this through my own perspective, but I also try to add in what other people have said about the film and try to give you a sense of the problems that ended up resulting in why people don't seem to praise it as extensively as maybe some other films. So that's what I'm going to do for that. And then the next Thursday, so I'll switch off, is called Something Bad, and basically Something Bad has to do with something that's not held as highly as some other things within our media usually. I try to focus it more on the aspects that are within entertainment. Usually that deals with movies, but I will try to see if I can expand this and see if I can talk more about different kinds of forms of entertainment. And this Something Bad doesn't reflect a particular person or a particular idea so much as it reflects onto the production of the entertainment and how it's really ultimately of low value. And I kind of discuss like why that I think that is, and I give sort of an understanding to the audience as to why there's a lot of people out there who consider this to be something bad. So that's basically a summary of what Thursday will entail. Now Friday's video is going to be a little bit different. I have finished basically all of the Disney films, so I am going to still though talk about two films that focus on trying to sort of be Disney films, like I consider them to be Disney knockoffs. I'll start probably with Thumbelina, which was done by Don Bluth, and I want to compare and contrast the original work to Don Bluth's. And then I also want to compare and contrast The Swan Princess, which was another animated film that came out. So, and these films aren't really considered as good of quality as the Disney films, but I want to see what these animators were trying to go with these kinds of stories and see if there's anything interesting to pull from both works, because I think that if you look at it through both lenses, you kind of understand like why the film changed maybe certain things around. So it'll be kind of basically the same for those two videos, book versus movie, Thumbelina, and then book versus movie, The Swan Princess. But then after that, I'm going to expand into other kinds of animation. So it'll technically be called Animation Fridays, where I will discuss something that deals with animation, whether it be the really short cartoons like Betty Boop, Popeye, all these kinds of other forms of cartoons that were coming out. And I'll try to talk about Disney's cartoons too, the earlier cartoons. And I also want to talk about more films too, like animated films and things of that nature, and kind of give people insight into the animation world. So I definitely feel like that's something that is really cool, and I want to discuss more. and elaborate on and see if people find it interesting, because I find animation pretty interesting. Now, Saturdays is going to change a little too, because instead of it just being an underrated film, I'm going to switch it up too, so that it's not so consistent. And I like changing things a little around sometimes, because I know that it's nice to have something that's a little unexpected. So I'm going to do 1 week on Saturday underrated, and then the next week on Saturday overrated. So I want to talk about an underrated film, and then I want to talk about an overrated film. Now, it's not to say that I don't feel that the underrated film is as grand or as spectacular, and it's not to say that the overrated film I feel is completely horrible. It's just sort of to highlight certain things that I feel make this film too highly praised for what it is in the overrated category, and explain things as to why I feel like the underrated category makes this film more worthy to be paid attention to. So again, it's kind of like this pendulum thing of I'm trying to bring the overrated version down to more of the average level, because I don't think the overrated film, usually all of the overrated films that I'll probably do are not ones that I feel are really horrible, but I will put them down into that average level category, because I don't think that they're as great as a lot of people make them out to be. And I'll do the same with the underrated films, so that it kind of goes up and they're sort of evened out. So, and I feel like more criticism is a good thing, because, again, we all learn from various forms of criticism, and everybody has their own opinion. So I figured that would be something interesting to do, as opposed to just doing underrated, because I know that can get repetitive, and I'm sure that people would like to have something more that wouldn't be as I guess, just repetitive, and then therefore not as interesting, because I continue to do the same thing every week. So I'm adding in the overrated category here. Lastly, I want to discuss random topics, and again, anybody can write me and leave a comment or send me a message asking me if they want me to talk about a random topic that's maybe been on their mind and they want me to discuss, or if there's anything that if there's anything that you feel is sort of worth talking about, you're more than welcome to send me anything, and then I'd be more than happy to talk about it. And the random talks are kind of more opinionated, but I try to keep an open mind as to when I'm talking about the random topic. So I think that's really, though, ultimately all I can say about this lineup. This is pretty much how the channel is going to work from now on, at least for a good chunk of time. I don't know when it will change again, but depending on what people are saying, and depending on the feedback that I get, it'll all just kind of depend. So, but I think overall this is really a good lineup to start with, because then I can fully explain certain aspects of film that I don't think a lot of people really talk about. I think a lot of movie reviewers that I've seen have done more of like the recent films, and I really want to do like more films that have come out in the past. And I also want to want it to be more about different kinds of things. So, like music, and again, random topics, and books, and so on and so forth. So, ultimately, that's all I think I can say. But if there are any questions, comments, concerns, more than happy to answer them. and I hope to see you all next week. And it should be fun, and I'm looking forward to doing these things again. And I'm hoping that the gardeners are not around while I'm making videos, so that it'll be easier for you to hear me. But yeah, that's, I think, really ultimately all I can say. But take care, everyone, and I hope to see you soon.